Just so you can see how much this is, here's one cube for comparison. So basically what I got is a whole bunch of budget 3x3s, budget 4x4s, and really good 2x2s, and then also mirror blocks and mega minks because I thought those just might be fun. I also got some 5x5s because I might be starting 5x5. We'll see about that. So I'm not going to do a solve because that's embarrassing. I'll make the white center for you guys. That was 3 moves. All right, so let's get started by taking a look at the budget 3x3s. So for Speedcubers first starting out, I do recommend getting cheaper cubes at first because if you get the most expensive one now, maybe a better one will come out when you actually need it. So here we have the Chi Warrior W, the Chi Thunderclap, the MF3 RS, the YJ Guanlong Plus, the YJ Guanlong, the YuXin Little Magic, and the Shengshou Gem. So I haven't tried any of these before, but I've heard that the MF3 RS is one of the best budget cubes, so let's get into this one first. So the corner cutting on this cube is pretty great. We have over 45 degrees out of the box. I don't know if these tensions are perfect, but they seem pretty good. And then for reverse cuts, we have about 2/3 of a QB. So I did notice when I was turning there was some catching, like right here, when you reverse corner cut while pushing into the centerpiece. This happens for a lot of cubes, but I feel like this happens a little bit more on this cube. It feels like a Waylon GTS where there's not a lot of friction, it's really fast, but then also it's a little bit uncontrollable. I feel like there's a lot of small internal lockups on this that I don't really get with a lot of other cubes. Okay, now let's open the Guanlong and Guanlong Plus. Whoa, this, that is really weird. This is way too tight. Right now, it just cannot even corner cut at all. Okay, let's see how the Guanlong Plus does out of the box. It is also tension too tight. Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to undo the tensions a bit. Probably a little bit too loose now, and I still feel like the corner cutting is not as good, but I also feel like the MF3 RS feels like a direct upgrade over the Guanlong Plus, so I definitely do not recommend these two. All right, now let's take a look at the YuXin Little Magic. Oh, wow. Wait a second. What? No way, this is too good. Okay, really? Maybe it's because it just used the Guanlongs, but wow, this is so good. It feels smoother than most cubes I've used. I would say it's closest to a Gan Air compared to like any of the other top speed cubes, but like it's not even that close to it. Corner cutting's okay. It might be too tight right now. Does feel a little bit tight. I think I'll fix this one's tensions just because I like it so much. Okay, I have to say I like the YuXin Little Magic a lot. There's really nothing wrong with it besides the fact that the inner bits of it feel a little bit too rigid. Like the corner cutting doesn't feel as smooth as like a Valk GTS2 or Gan Air, but like that's the only thing I can really say about it. Everything else about it is just really great. Okay, now looking at the Shengshou Gem. Ooh, this, yeah, you can kind of see like, I don't know what you'd call this texture, but it does feel interesting. Oh, the insides are black too. That's interesting. I can't say if I like it. This one turns really well and really smoothly when I'm just turning like this, but when I have to start corner cutting, then I feel like there's more resistance than with other cubes. Overall pretty good. Like I really like the feel of it. It's really smooth. It feels kind of like the Rubik's Speedcube. I can't really think of any other way to put it, honestly. All right, now we have the Chi Warrior W. I've also been told this is one of the best budget cubes. Ooh, another stickerless one. Okay, this one is just the opposite. It's really smooth. Okay, this turns really, really smoothly. It's a little bit slow though. So this cube is pretty solid actually. Like I can't really say there's anything I like about it after feeling the MF3RS and Little Magic, but it's pretty good. All right, now the Thunderclap. I think I accidentally got it in white. I usually get black or stickerless cubes because I think they look better. Well, of course it feels like the original Thunderclap, and if you don't know what that feels like, it also feels like the YuXin Pro, and it also kind of feels like an Oolong. It's rather loud and clicky. So the Oolong was always one of the cubes that I thought felt really, really nice, and if you want a cube similar to the Oolong, then the Thunderclap has always been a good option. I'm not really sure about the Thunderclap V2. I feel like it's a little bit clickier, and I don't know, it doesn't feel as stable. Like the cube feels like it moves more. Maybe the regular Thunderclap, like the Thunderclap V1 would be better. Okay, now that I'm trying it, actually the MF3RS is just straight up better than this. So this Thunderclap is now banished to the Guanlongs. So now I'm going to be doing a budget cube comparison. I think all of these cubes are $5 or under except for the Thunderclap V2, which by the way is worse than the MF3RS, so I'm just going to be taking this one out. All right, now let's take a look at the MF3RS, since this one is considered the #1 budget speed cube on the market, and by budget here, remember I just mean $5 or under, then I think this one is worth comparing to every single one of the other ones. So overall the turning is really solid and fast, it's just that there are small catches on the inside whenever making too many corner cuts at once. I expect that out of a budget cube, but this honestly is a really, really good budget cube. I'll just be comparing all of these other cubes to the MF3RS. So starting with the Guanlong and the Guanlong Plus. All right, now the cubes that are actually good. So we have the Chi Warrior W. So I think what makes this cube not as good as the MF3RS is that the corner cutting is just not as good. So obviously you don't need to cut 45 degrees, but it does make smaller corner cuts easier when it can cut larger cuts. So I'm finding myself having more minor lockups than usual using this cube compared to using some of the other cubes. So the remaining 3 cubes are the MF3RS, the YuXin Little Magic, and the Shangshou Gem. Now I'm going to rank these cubes in terms of a few factors that I think are some of the most important for me when picking a speed cube. So for speed, I'm just gonna have to give it to the MF3RS. It's really effortless to turn, and the corner cutting is also amazing. So if you can control this cube really well, then this is definitely the fastest and best performing. For controllability, I have to say the YuXin Little Magic is the best in this department, but the Shangshou Gem is also pretty good, mostly because both of these are really smooth cubes and it doesn't turn way too fast. Now another important factor, which is just 100% my opinion, is which one is my favorite to turn. Now this is really important because it affects how much I want to practice and therefore affects how much I even use this cube. So for that one, I'll have to give it to the YuXin Little Magic. It turns really, really smoothly. I don't get weird lockups like I do with the MF3RS. So there you have it. My favorite budget cube of this bunch is the YuXin Little Magic. It turns really smoothly. I just really like it so much. I was the most impressed with this one out of the box, and I have to say the performance is definitely equal to or greater than the MF3RS in my opinion. Now, if you've tried any of these 3 speed cubes that I mentioned at the end, or even the other budget speed cubes that I've been talking about, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to know your opinion because this is my first time trying all of them, and I'd like to know what you guys think about some of them. Do you like the Guanlongs? Because I really hate them. Alright, now we have 6 budget 4x4s. I believe they are all under $10 except for the Thunderclap, which is $13. I will also be comparing this to the other cubes, so I will leave this for the end. Now let's start by looking at the Shangshou Gem 4x4. Okay, so far the turning is pretty good. Let's try double layers. Ooh, the reverse corner cutting is not so great. Yeah, doesn't really corner cut much. Let's try 1 layer. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, that's kind of a deal breaker right there. I don't know how I'm gonna turn a cube without reverse corner cutting, right? Especially on big cubes when there's a lot of chances for layers to misalign. So when multiple layers are misaligned, I can't see that going well. Wow, that's actually such a shame because the turning feels really nice. The cube feels really nice to hold. Like, I had some really nice first turns before I figured out about this corner cutting thing. Okay, onto the Kung Fu Kong Feng. Oh, interesting. It actually has packaging. There we go. I've heard this one is a pretty good budget 4x4. The turning is not bad, it's just that when it gets to like around the corner cutting, there's some resistance there. Okay, let's try some inner layer turns. Yeah, that's kind of loud. Okay. It's a lot louder than I feel like this should be. Maybe it's a bit tight. Let me try loosening the tensions a bit. It's not amazing, but like I can still do my algorithms rather smoothly if I just slow down a little bit. So this one is the YJ Guansu. Yeah, like most 4x4s out of the box, I feel like it's a bit tight. So with everything with the turning being great and all, I feel like the reverse corner cutting is just not that great actually. Like it's good, but you have to kind of turn a little bit slower than you want to, otherwise you're going to run into a lot more reverse corner cuts. But if you turn slower and just try to aim your turns a little bit better, this could definitely be a really good cube. Okay, now looking at the MF4S. So the MF3RS is already a really good budget 3x3, so let's see if their 4x4 is just as good. It feels really scratchy. Actually, the tensions here are way too tight right now. It cannot corner cut. Like, that is a lot of effort. Really? Are these 4x4s not designed to reverse corner cut? Do I even want to loosen it and try again? Like, it just can't even reverse corner cut. Okay, so out of the box, I am thoroughly unimpressed with this one. All right, so here we have the Chi Yuan. All right, it feels a little bit better than average, and yes, it can reverse corner cut. Yay! So this one feels a little bit hard to turn though, and it is kind of heavy, I think. Yeah, it's definitely heavier than the Guansu. So anyway, there's not really a big difference in performance between the YJ Guansu and the Chi Yuan. Now, I think both of these are $8 on Speedcube Shop, so you can just get whichever one you think is better. I personally prefer the Guansu just a little bit. I did say the Chi Yuan is slightly better in performance, but I prefer the Guansu for being slightly lighter, because big cubes you'll get tired easily, so I feel like I prefer this one. So I also mentioned the Thunderclap 4x4 at the beginning. So I didn't really like the Thunderclap 4x4 when I first got it, but the only thing I had to compare this one to before was my Chi Wuchui M. Now the Thunderclap certainly is not at that level, but it's also not at that price. The Thunderclap 4x4 is only for about $12 or $13 on Speedcube Shop, and I just think it's generally better than all of these budget 4x4s by quite a margin. So if you're considering getting an $8 4x4 and you really just want better performance without too many lockups, then I really recommend the Thunderclap 4x4. So there will also be a link to this one in the description. All right, so now we're looking at some of the best 2x2 cubes on the market by one of the worst 2x2 solvers in the world. No, I'm just kidding. I think I got a sub 5 average at my last comp. I don't really practice 2x2, so I guess that's okay. And here we have the Wuxia M and the regular Wuxia. Oh, I hate opening these. Okay, 2x2s feel really small in my hand. Alright, I think this is really good. Let's try doing a solve. Ooh, nice blocks. Too bad I don't know how to take advantage of them. Alright, there's my layer, and then there's CLO. Honestly, just doing that solve right now, 2x2 feels like a joke, but whatever. This turns really well. Alright, so here's my old main. Actually, it's the YuXin Tiger. Yeah, let's leave him right there. So this is my old main, the Kung Fu something. Overall, it's really good if you're just doing algorithms, but it tends to get lockups. I'm not sure exactly where. Sometimes it's caught on absolutely nothing. There's nothing it should be catching on right now, and it just doesn't turn. Other than that, it's really good, and here the Wuxia is just like, it doesn't have that problem. It doesn't feel like I'm going to be locking on something randomly. Okay, let's look at the Wuxia M. I don't really know what magnets do for a 2x2, since I haven't really tried it before, but I guess we'll find out. don't feel the magnets that much. So it does feel a little bit like I'm going over something when I'm turning, but it doesn't feel significant at all. I don't know. I don't know if this would make really any difference at all. I really think that the standard wuxia is fine. Maybe more experienced 2x2 solvers can correct me on that, but I really don't see a difference between these two. If I do more solves and I do see a difference, then I guess I'll say something about that, but right now they feel the same to me. Okay, let's look at the Moyu Xinghen M. Right, this looks a lot like the Yuxiao Pro box. I don't like it as much. So the wuxia feels like it just goes anywhere. And I don't know, if you used a really good 2x2, you kind of know what I mean. Like, it doesn't feel like there's ever resistance. It's just either you corner cut or you don't. And for this one, it's like very often I feel like I don't. Or like I don't get the turn I want. The wuxia turns really well. Like it does exactly what I want it to do. Definitely think out of the box the wuxia is much better than the Xinghen. Alright, so now to the Cosmic Cubes. Sweet, so this one I believe is the Cosmic Weipo M. Comes in this nice bag. I have so many of these bags now. This one is the Cosmic Chuan M. So as you can probably tell, I just picked every 2x2 that's good and got it. Let's try the stick of this one first. This is the Weipo. So let's try it. Yep, definitely a lot slower than the other cubes because this one is like extra lubed. But I already felt like the wuxia was really good anyway. Like, wait, is this even lubed? Because if they didn't lube it, then this is really good. I feel like this one is comparable to the wuxia and it feels better than the Xinghen. Let's try the Chuan. So I'm expecting this one to also be a little bit slow out of the box. It feels a little bit better. Nah, it's pretty slow. The only thing that I can say for sure right now is that the YuXin Tiger is really cute. The only thing I can say for sure right now is that I really like the wuxia and wuxia M. They mostly feel the same to me, so I'm just going to be using the regular wuxia. With this cube existing, there's really no reason to like get a different cube. Like, okay, let's just say, like hypothetically, these two cubes, after breaking in the lube, they're just amazing and the best 2x2s I've ever felt. I can't really say I would get worse times with this because this is already like, I can't see anything wrong with the wuxia. Like, there's nothing, I'm not gonna lock up, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, so right now the Weipo and Chuan are just kind of in like a state where I can't really tell if they're good or not because they're a little bit slow from the lube. And so I'm just gonna have to say my recommendation is definitely the Chi wuxia. This is so good. I might actually practice 2x2 just for this cube. So if you're looking for links to these cubes, they will all be in the description, and I don't want to discriminate. This guy is technically not a cube. He's still a 2x2, so if you want to link to him, he'll also be in the description. Could there be any more? But Perm, you don't do any other events besides 2x2 to 4x4. Well, that's not true anymore. Now we have 5x5s. So I'm going to start doing 5x5. At the last competition, I was hanging out with some people, and I thought that 5x5 was pretty fun, but I am really bad at it. By really bad, I mean like compared to my 4x4 level. I mean, I'm still decent at 5x5. I think for my level of 4x4, I should be averaging, okay, at least under 2 minutes for 5x5, but I think my best record right now is like around 2 minutes, 20 seconds. I'm not exactly sure. So anyway, this one is the YuXin 5x5. I got the YuXin and the Wushuang, the Chi Wushuang, both not magnetic because there's no point in getting a really good 5x5 when I'm not really good right now, and there might be better ones in the future. It might be a little bit loose right now, or maybe just because it's sliding everywhere because of the lube. So let's take a look at the Chi Wushuang now. These are both supposed to be really good 5x5s. Obviously the best 5x5s today are magnetized, but when I get decently good at 5x5, I will start considering those. Because for 4x4, magnets made a big difference, so I bet it would for 5x5 as well. Okay, this one feels a little bit scratchier slash clickier. This one's just smooth in general. This one's like got all this going on. The outer layers feel kind of clicky and the inner layers feel really scratchy. That's odd. Like, okay, listen to that. And then listen to this. first impressions, which one do I like better? Well, the YuXin 5x5 has just been lubed so much more. It's also a lot looser, like I kind of got a pop there. And then the Wushuang, I can't remember which one's supposed to be better. I'm guessing the Wushuang because I heard the name more often. But it does feel like the tension right now is a little bit too tight. But I do really like the inner layers, the scratchy feeling of it. It feels really, really nice to turn. So out of the box, I'm going to have to give it to the YuXin 5x5. But I guess we'll see in the future. So once I start practicing 5x5, I'll make some videos for this. Oh, wait, they're different sizes. Jeez, I'm very not attentive. I'll get back to you guys on these ones later because right now I can't make such a good opinion since I'm not really great at 5x5 yet. Alright, and here we have the X-Man Galaxy Megaminx. This has been recommended to me as the best Megaminx there is today, so the last thing today is going to be the Shangsho mirror blocks. I really like the mirror blocks puzzle, and if you haven't tried it before, you definitely should. It is exactly the same as the 3x3, except it sort of looks like it shapeshifts. And that's because when you turn it, see, the centerpiece is not in the middle, so then the shapes start moving everywhere. Oh, this actually turns a lot nicer than I thought it would. Yeah, so I had one of these a long time ago, but I lost it, so that's why I got another one now. If you have your own mirror blocks at home, you should also time yourself and see if you can beat me. All right. Okay, so the rest of the video is just going to be me solving this, and I hope you guys were as excited for these cubes as I was. I know I had a lot of fun unboxing it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys all next time then.